Let's talk about something you probably see all the time and think nothing of. A diaper. It's just a diaper, right? But what if I told you this one simple thing is at the center of a massive, hidden crisis? What if I told you that for millions of families, a lack of diapers is the difference between a child thriving or falling behind, a parent keeping a job or losing it, and it can even impact the physical wiring of a baby's brain? Yeah, this is the story of how an everyday object holds the key to our future. Right out of the gate, here's the number that should stop everyone in their tracks. 1 in 2. 1 in 2 families in the United States struggles to afford diapers. That's not a fringe issue. That's half. Look around you. It's your neighbors, your coworkers, maybe even your friends. And they're facing this, usually in silence. This isn't just a statistic. It's a quiet epidemic happening in every single community. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to pull back the curtain on this crisis. Then, we'll get into the incredible science of why this matters so much. We'll look at the shocking ripple effects of this one single need, and then, the best part, we'll see how communities are fighting back and how you can actually be part of the solution.
Okay, first things first, we have to put a name to this problem. Because when you can't afford diapers, it's not just a budget issue. It's a specific, crushing kind of stress that deserves its own name.
The official term is diaper need. You know, it sounds so sterile, but let's be real about what it means. It means a constant background hum of anxiety. It's the stress of wondering if you can provide the most basic level of comfort and health for your child. It's a weight that never, ever goes away. And this isn't happening in a vacuum. Diaper need is a huge part of a much bigger issue called hygiene poverty. We're talking about not being able to afford soap, toothpaste, shampoo, the basics. And when that happens, families are backed into a corner, forced to make absolutely impossible choices between being clean and, say, eating. And that's the real gut punch, isn't it? It's not just about the physical stuff. It's about dignity. Listen to this father's words. You can hear the shame, the hurt. Having to ask for help with something so fundamental, it wears you down. It's a deep emotional wound. And if you want to know what desperation looks like, here it is in data form. 32% of families admit to reusing disposable diapers. I mean, just think about that. A third have had to bathe their kids or themselves without soap. And nearly 3/4 are skipping laundry to save money. These aren't just numbers on a chart. These are real people making heartbreaking choices just to get by.
Okay, so we've established the problem. But now we need to talk about why this goes so much deeper than just hygiene. This is where we get into the science, and honestly, this is the part that changes everything. The lack of a diaper can literally alter the course of a child's development.
So here's the fundamental idea you have to get. A baby's brain isn't born complete. It's built, piece by piece, like a house. And the building materials are their early experiences. Good, stable, loving experiences create a rock-solid foundation. But stressful, negative experiences, they can lead to a weak and unstable structure from the very start. Now, of course, not all stress is bad for a kid. There's positive stress, right? Like the first day of school. That builds resilience. But then there's toxic stress, and that's the bad guy here. It's what happens when a kid faces intense, prolonged hardship without a supportive adult to help them cope. This kind of stress isn't a character builder. It's a brain damager. And boom, here's the connection. For a baby, being stuck in a dirty diaper is incredibly stressful. And for the parent, the constant worry about running out of diapers is its own chronic stress. When that stress is there day in and day out, it becomes toxic. It literally gets in the way of a healthy brain being built. We're talking about long-term consequences, all stemming from this one basic need.
So we've seen the damage it can do to a child's brain, but you've got to understand the crisis doesn't stop there. The lack of a single diaper sends out shockwaves that can destabilize an entire family's life. It's a devastating ripple effect. Check out this brutal cycle. It's so simple and so destructive. Most childcare centers, the affordable ones, the subsidized ones, require you to bring your own supply of diapers for the day. No diapers? Your child can't go. And if your child can't go to daycare, well, you can't go to work. You can't go to school. A simple lack of diapers becomes a direct barrier to earning an income or getting an education. It's a trap. And the trade-offs are just agonizing. To afford hygiene products, not just diapers, but all of it, look what families are giving up. 58% cut back on food. Let me say that again. They cut back on food.
40% were late on rent. Over half delayed paying utility bills. You're literally choosing between a clean baby and keeping the lights on.
And the ripple effect even hits kids on the playground. This quote from a parent just lays it bare. Kids can be cruel. And being the kid who isn't clean or doesn't have proper clothes, that leads to shame, to bullying. It's another emotional weight for a child who is already dealing with so much. Okay, the problem is huge. The stakes couldn't be higher. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. But this story does not end in despair, because in the face of this crisis, an absolutely incredible grassroots movement has risen up to fight back. And it all started so small. A single community diaper drive back in 1994. But that one idea caught fire. By 2000, we had the country's first official diaper bank. And by 2011, there were so many of these local groups that they banded together to form the National Diaper Bank Network, creating a unified force for good. And today there are over 300 of these diaper banks all across the country, serving families in every single state. This is what it looks like when a community sees a problem and decides, nope, not on our watch. It's a solution built from the ground up by people who just decided to act. Which brings us to the most important part of this whole conversation, what you can do. Because the solutions here aren't some abstract policy idea. They are real, they are tangible, and anyone can be a part of them. Seriously, you can make a huge difference. Donating one box of diapers is a massive deal for a family. Giving a few hours of your time to sort and wrap supplies helps get them to people who need them. Just talking about this, making people aware that diaper need is even a thing, that helps. Every small act creates a big impact. And beyond just providing immediate help, there's a way to provide a long-term solution, a path to empowerment. Because what's the ultimate end to diaper need for a family? It's when their child is potty trained. That milestone means the end of diaper costs for good. It's a finish line. It's freedom. And helping families cross that finish line can be as simple as making sure they have the right tools for the job. You know, a little portable potty, some training pants, a seat for the big toilet. Having this gear can make a stressful process so much easier, empowering the parents and setting the kid up for success. So we started with one simple object, right? A diaper. We saw how not having one can harm a child's brain, cost a parent their job, and trap a family in poverty. But we also saw how providing one through a neighbor, a volunteer, a diaper bank can change that whole story. This crisis is real, but it's not hopeless. The story is being written right now. So the only real question left is, what part are you going to play?